Greet to the tings, it's Rob Chapman aka the Monkey Lord at your service for another daily Circadian Chronicle. Today for the crack we're using Black Star HT5 head because I wanna. I'm also running this into a Zilla Fatboy cab with unspeakable speakers of which I shall not speak today. I thought I'd talk to you about modal runs, legato, not just legato, but just runs, 3-note per string runs. I had a nice guy on the last video say, Chappers, how do you make those 3-note per string modal runs? And I thought I'd give you an insight into my mental process eye to do that. But before I do, I've got a couple of things to talk to you about. The first thing was ear defense. A number of you asked me how I defend my ears when I'm on tour or just playing loud in a rehearsal. Here's my little pouch of saviourness, and contained within is a key for something that I have no idea about. And oh yeah, what about this? I could have given this away at some point. This is a plectrum that Misha gave me, my buddy Misha from Periphery. I'll give that away at some point. Another random key to something. And two ear defenders. Now these are very special, and I highly recommend that anyone watching this video who plays loud music gets something like this. I'll try and show it to you from an angle that's not covered in earwax. So what we've got here are two specially moulded earplugs. These are professional earplugs. You go to an audiologist, find your local audiologist on Google I suppose, and they inject into your ear a clay that solidifies pretty quickly, and it takes a casting of the inside of your ear, and they send these off to a manufacturer and they have these made specifically to fit your ears. So you get them and they go straight in and they fit perfectly, and you can change the filters. So for example, these are to produce 15, it's not gonna focus, is it? There you go, there you go. That filter reduces 15 decibels of audio. So it's just reducing the decibels. You hear it like you would normally hear. It doesn't make it muffled like those yellow shove in your ear or the wax things that are even worse for you. So these are really great. You hear everything, you just hear it quieter. The next step up from this would be in-ear monitoring, which is where I really want to go. In fact, my drummer Ben Meinl has those and they look awesome. So yeah, they're colour-coded, red for right, blue for left. You just put them in like this, and I don't know if you can even see it. I can't see if you could see. There it is, in my ear. So that's how it works. They don't hurt, they feel good. You can tour for ages with them. In fact, I do. If I find it really hard to hear on stage, because sometimes the audio is crap on tour, I'll do what Phil X taught me, which is probably bad, and I don't recommend this to anybody, but I put one in, and I'll cover this ear with my bandana, both layers, put some dread in front of it, and then this one's covered, this one's protected with the earplug, and I get to hear my own skull, my own head, because I've got an earplug in. When you sing, oh, your skull resonates, yeah, and you kind of hear it bounce in your head, and it makes you louder to yourself. This is a nice easy thing, and then this one's a little bit protected. It's taken about 5 dB off because of the cloth. It's a bit muffled, but there you go. Don't do that, but sometimes it helps. So that's the ear defense. Next item on the agenda. My buddy Ben Meinl, who I just mentioned, drummer from my band Dorje, D-O-R-J-E, pronounced Dor-J, for the many of you who ask, has made a really cool lesson, and it's a lesson about the rhythm grid, and it's the way that he has learnt to dissect rhythms in his head and understand the way the rhythms work, and it's a clapping exercise, not just for drummers, but for guitar players, bassists, vocalists. It's cross-training in rhythm, and I highly recommend you go and check it out. because it would be good for you. On the other item of agenda today, my friend Rabia Masad, also from Dorje, now has a Facebook page. You might not know that, and you can go here to witness the fitness that is Rabia Masad. So the guy who asked me about the vertical runs up and down was Jason Haverfield, so thank you very much, mate. I'll show you some examples now, and I'll also talk a little bit about the theory and how I'm getting to know where the scale shapes are. Let's do that right now. How you doing, man? I cannot believe that our guitars are going to be probably with us on the 15th. Yes, it is ridiculously immense. I am...
When you texted me this morning, I literally nearly fell out of bed.
Ah, dude. Now, no one on YouTube really knows about these, so we should probably tell them with you on the phone. So, YouTube, I've got a signature guitar on the way from Chapman Guitars, and so is Rabia. I've made him a signature. Yeah, I made him a signature guitar as well. So the Rabia Masad model will be an ML1. Well, Rabia, tell them about it.
Okay, well, it's going to be a classic sort of strap vibe. It's going to be the ML1 with a few pretty cool additions. Being firstly that it's not going to be a bolt-on, it's going to be a set neck through construction, which I'm really excited to try out, and it's going to be double humbucker configuration as opposed to single humbucker, and it's going to have Floyd Rose on it.
Yeah!
That's all really exciting, and the other major thing that will be quite noticeable is we're making it from alder instead of mahogany, so
yeah,
it's going to be different woods, so it will sound completely different to other Chapman guitars.
And what about the look? What about the finish, buddy? Tell them about the finish.
Oh, the finish. Oh,
yeah.
God, the finish. Right, well, it's basically going to be a natural quilt top, all satin finish.
Yeah.
It's a quilt veneer, and it's just, I cannot wait to see what it looks like.
Well, dude, neither can I, because I'm probably going to own one of them. We'll take a few on tour with us. Yeah. We're gonna take them to the NAMM show and sort of show them off at the Seymour Duncan stand. And I'm getting one. I'm getting my own signature model that I designed for myself. It's kind of random. And it's going to be a carved top T-type with a rosewood fretboard. In fact, you know what? I'm not going to tell you a lot about it. I'm just going to let you check it out when it gets here. But basically, carved top T-type is my baby. There you go. We're taking a look at incorporating modal runs into maybe some regular bluesy rock stuff. I'm in the key of E, tuned to E flat, the key for the people because I say it is. And this is what I do. I'm thinking about my 7 modal diatonic scale shapes. Now you have to memorize these. It's very important to memorize them because if you don't, you can't do this. And you need to realize that if you're playing in, this is a really simplistic way of putting it, so this isn't all of the theory, this is a window through to some of the theory. So if I'm playing a major scale, for example in D, now that's D major, but it's also E Dorian. Same notes, different intervallics because the root is now here, so you get a 1, you get a 2, you get a minor 3rd, 4th, 5th, major 6th. So Dorian is a minor scale with a major 6th, and that's why it sounds so badass. So here's how it sounds to you. That's the sound of Dorian. Probably better if I actually caught out this bitch and just clean up. Gives you the sound of Dorian, and you have to learn the order of the modes and the way they lock together to cause this big diatonic network on the fretboard. So if I'm jamming in E with a bunch of guys, I might start in the middle of the guitar just to give me some options, so I can go back if I want to, and I can go forward if I want to. So for me, if I'm playing in E, I'll be using position 3 pentatonic. If you don't know how to scale, it's like this. That's just the pentatonic. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to carry along through the diatonic scales until we get to D major. So we have to know the order. The order is this. It goes Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian, and then back to the beginning again. And I use a mnemonic, which was I don't play like Mr. Alan Limerick, because Alan Limerick was my teacher when I went to the ICMP. So Ionian, I, Dorian, don't, Phrygian, play, Lydian, like, Mixolydian, Mr, Aeolian, Alan, Locrian, Limerick. There you go. So here's my Dorian. And I want to find how to play Dorian here, because I'm here, I'm not down here. So check this out. Well, here's Lydian in E. Here's Mixolydian, like Mr. Here's Aeolian. Here's Locrian. Sorry about that, I don't play a lot of Locrian. And here's Major. So I've worked my way along. You could go backwards. It's the same steps as the diatonic major scale. So it's just the steps of the D major diatonic scale. So if you take it as read that Dorian is here at the nut, if that's Dorian, what's after Dorian? I don't play, so Phrygian. Like, there's only a semitone between these, so Lydian. Then Mr, Mixolydian. Aeolian, Alan. Locrian. And then back to Ionian. That's the way it works. It's like a map. They all connect. I'll just run that through you one more time because it is a little bit advanced. These modes are in an order. The order is Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian and Locrian. They cover the whole fretboard. They follow the steps of the major scale. So the major scale, I'm starting here so that the second point is on my root so that I've got Dorian on the guitar. So if Dorian is in E, then Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian, Ionian. So Dorian is on E. In other words, if I'm playing here, I can flounge around because I know that I know where I can go. I've got the my fingers are like little torches, and some people when they're playing, I can perceive that the torch only shines a couple of frets and they know where it's safe to tread. I can see the fretboard because I know where the diatonic modes are. I need another camera, that might help me. So anyway, there you go. I'm using, in other words, I'll be using Lydian and Mixolydian. Lydian will be here. The Lydian shape, but I'm causing E Dorian. And I'll be using Mixolydian here, so Mixo in A is the same as Dorian in E. get some new strings. These are quite dead. By the way, strings, these are 11 to 49. So I've just gone to storage and fished out Guitar of the Week. I thought I'd do Guitar of the Week for you. And Guitar of the Week is prototype number 1, ML2 from Chapman Guitars. This finish is Antique Sunburst, or that's what I call it. I call it Antique Sunburst. And there are a number of things on this prototype that just are not going to happen on the real one that comes out. For a start, the neck will not be finished like this. It'll be unfinished and scarfed off. And also you won't get these fret markers along the fretboard. And that's exactly why I picked this guitar out. By the way, it's the Guitar of War Humbuckers here. I picked it out because I figured you might like to see what I'm doing on the fretboard so you can follow the fret markers. So here are some of the patterns that I play when I'm playing legato for you using these modal diatonic scales. I'll give you a couple of... What I'll do is I'll play really slowly to begin with. Play really slowly so you can see some of the shapes and things I throw, and then I'll just break it down and give you 2 of them really slowly that you can go off from practice to give some of these modal, legato or quick passages a try. So you see there are a couple of really simple and simplistic patterns that I'm looping for you. Things that I practiced just using the basic 3 shapes. This is the Holy Trinity. There are only really 3 shapes you play on the guitar unless you're playing some fancy crazy stuff. Here are the 3 shapes that I play the majority of the time in these diatonic scales. The first is what I call a major shape. Minor shape. Reverse minor shape. And I practice my patterns inside these 3 basic shapes, the 3-note per string scale shapes, and I do them until my fingers hurt or my wrist hurts a little tiny bit, not too much. So let me show you an example. Here's my, this is a typical Malmsteen thing. There's a simple pattern. I'm just going. So that's a simple pattern that you can try and apply all over the scale. You can go down, you can go up, the little finger leads the way, and that's where you're going to get the burn the quickest. And the next is something my friend Gus G showed me, which is just a simple pattern of 6. Or you can just freestyle around and find your own patterns. Whatever works, you just find a pattern, you work on it, you stick at it, and then eventually you bring it into your live playing by practicing licks that you've rehearsed. Hope you've enjoyed this lesson, chat, banter stuff. I've been Rob Chapman, take it easy. Chappers out.